Life was made easy, as the world was made ever more civilized through the help of these great innovators, and when it comes to civilization and invention, these are the names that will always remain in the world history. And today, the world was made beautiful through the creative arts of these men, such as incandescent light bulb, telephone, shaving cream, cotton gin, printing press, recording device, and bifocal eyeglasses. Welcome to Highest Luxury, the home of the billionaires. If you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe, and I know you can do that in just 5 seconds. Alright, let's get started. Starting with number 1, Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison is an American inventor who was born in February 11, 1847 in Ohio, United States.
Thomas Edison single-handedly held a world record for creating world's first ever industrial research laboratory. Thomas Edison was the 7th and last child of his parents Samuel and Nancy Edison. When Edison was 7, his family moved to Port Huron, Michigan. Edison lived here until he struck out on his own at the age of 16. Edison had very little formal education as a child, attending school only for a few months. He was taught reading, writing, and arithmetic by his mother, but was always a very curious child and taught himself much by reading on his own. This belief in self-improvement remained throughout his life. At 13, he took a job as a newsboy, selling newspapers and candy on the local railroad that ran through Port Huron to Detroit. He seems to have spent much of his free time reading scientific and technical books, and also had the opportunity at this time to learn how to operate a telegraph. By the time he was 16, Edison was proficient enough to work as a telegrapher full-time. Edison began his career in 1863, in the adolescence of the telegraph industry, when virtually the only source of electricity was primitive, batteries putting out a low-voltage current. Edison, being so talented, wasn't happy with the low-voltage current that was first introduced, as he went for a research for a high-voltage current, and before his death in 1931, he introduced a modern age of electricity from his laboratories and workshops, making him the greatest ever inventor in the whole world, with a net worth of $170 million. Number 2, Alexander Graham Bell.
Alexander Graham Bell was born on March 3, 1847, in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Scottish-born American inventor, a scientist, and a teacher of the deaf, whose foremost accomplishments were the invention of the telephone in 1876. Alexander was born into a family of Alexander Melville Bell and Eliza Grace Simons. His mother was almost deaf, and his father taught elocution to the deaf, influencing Alexander's later career choice as teacher of the deaf. At age 11, he entered the Royal High School at Edinburgh, but he did not enjoy the compulsory curriculum, and he left school at age 15 without graduating. In 1865, the family moved to London. Alexander passed the entrance examinations for University College, London in June 1868. However, he did not complete his studies, because in 1870 the Bell family moved again, this time immigrating to Canada after the deaths of Bell's younger brother Edward in 1867 and older brother Melville in 1870. Both brothers died as a result of tuberculosis. The family settled in Brantford, Ontario, but in April 1871 Alexander moved to Boston, where he taught at the Boston School for Deaf-Mutes. He also taught at the Clark School for the Deaf in Northampton, and at the American School for the Deaf in Hartford, Connecticut. While pursuing his teaching profession, Bell also began researching methods to transmit several telegraph messages simultaneously over a single wire, and a major focus of telegraph innovation. This led to Bell's invention of the telephone in 1868, making him one of the greatest inventors in the world with a net worth of $5 million. Number 3, Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin was born on January 17, 1706, in Boston.
His father, Josiah Franklin, is a native of England, who was a candle and soap maker, and later got married twice and had 17 children. Franklin's mother was Abia Folger, who was Josiah's second wife. Franklin was the 8th of Abia and Josiah's 10 offspring. Did you know that Benjamin Franklin is the only founding father to have signed all 4 of the key documents establishing the U.S. Declaration of Independence in 1776? Franklin's formal education was limited and ended when he was 10, however, he was an avid reader and taught himself to become a skilled writer in 1718. He was apprenticed to his elder brother James, a Boston printer. At the age of 16, Franklin was contributing essays under a newspaper published by his brother. At age 17, Franklin ran away from his apprenticeship to Philadelphia, where he found work as a printer. In late 1724, he traveled to London, England, and again found employment in a printing company. Benjamin Franklin returned to Philadelphia in 1726, and 2 years later, he opened a printing shop. The business became highly successful, producing a range of materials, including government pamphlets, books, and currency. In 1729, Franklin became the owner and publisher of a colonial newspaper, the Pennsylvania Gazette, which proved popular news, and contributed much of the content, often using pseudonyms. Franklin achieved fame and further financial success. He became known for its witty sayings, which often had to do with the importance of diligence and frugality, such as early to bed and early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Franklin became the first Postmaster General of the United States, giving him authority over all post offices from Massachusetts to Georgia. He held this position until November 1776, after he invented bifocal eyeglasses, which made him one of the greatest innovators of all time, with a net worth of $6.5 million. Number 4. Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla was born on July 9, 1856 in Austria.
He is a Serbian-American inventor. Nikola Tesla is one of the most important pioneers in the field of electricity. Throughout his life, however, the ingenious inventor, engineer, and physicist were seen as a misunderstood genius who lived in the shadow of his more prominent research colleagues. Though, in modern times, we still feed on those breathtaking ideas and inventions that Nikola Tesla once launched. The gifted master of his trade laid the foundations for the alternating current network, remote control, neon tubes, and electric motors, among other things. No less exciting than the countless scientific milestones that Tesla achieved are the predictions that the genius made about the future. In some interviews, the pioneer of the electrical world drew an image of the future that leaves us completely baffled due to the accuracy of his predictions. He attended the Technical University at Graz, Austria, and the University of Prague. He conceived a way to use alternating current to advantage. Later, at Budapest, he visualized the principle of the rotating magnetic field and developed plans for an induction motor that would become his first step toward the successful utilization of alternating current in 1882. Tesla went to work in Paris for the Continental Edison Company, while on an assignment to Strasbourg in 1883. After work hours, his first induction motor. Tesla sailed for America in 1884, arriving in New York, and this made him one of the best inventors in the world with a net worth of $1 billion. And so many other things Nikola Tesla achieved, and that brought us to the end of today's video. Please like this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks, and see you all in the next video.